Okay, guys, we are with the one and only Julia Lynn official here. She is the dime piece of IWC Wrestling. The past couple podcast episodes got a little bit ignited. So if you want to check those out, you might see some things this side of her that you didn't even know existed. But anyway, we are with her. We're talking about the beginning, how she went from, I guess you could say, just a Pittsburgh girl to now she does a bunch of different things. So maybe if you want to get into the beginning process of how you started to make the climb to even wrestling, how you became a RockstarsDream dream girl, and maybe part of the salon, and you did a lot of cool stuff up until now. So what got you on that pathway? And maybe some people out there are wondering about your story, Julia Lynn.
Well, I mean, let's start from the beginning. I mean, I'm from Pittsburgh originally. I moved up to Erie when I was 18 years old, like 2 weeks literally after I graduated high school. I moved up there for a boy. And yeah, but that I would definitely say, I mean, that took a big chunk of my life. I was married to him, got divorced at 23 years old. Wow. But I feel like that was really the start of my career building. My ex-husband was unfortunately not one of the kindest people to me, and he did cause a lot of my mental health issues, making me feel like I wasn't good enough, that I couldn't do certain things. And I'll tell you what, those things that he said to me, I use as my motivation.
That's good.
I mean, you can kind of call it like a chip on my shoulder, like we talked about in the Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So now you know a little bit as to why. But I basically started with nothing. And
started from zero. That's our tagline.
Yeah, started from zero. I mean, I was a hairdresser. I still am a hairdresser. And I started building my career with hairdressing. And then eventually I became a salon manager. So that was one of my goals that I set for myself. In Erie, yep. Yeah. So I still live in Erie, so.
Yeah, so why did you stay there even after the divorce? Can you answer that real quick?
Because even when I was still married, I still started building up a clientele. And being a hairdresser, you have to build your own business, which is one of the big things with being an entrepreneur. I mean, yeah, you may work for a big company or you work for a salon. You're basically building your own personal business of the work that you do, the hair that you do, that one-on-one connection that you have with people. I mean, these are the first podcasts I've ever done like face-to-face with people. And I feel so comfortable talking with people. Yeah. I mean, literally, like we've talked online, like I've never physically met you until today, and I feel very comfortable talking to you.
Well, before this, and we didn't catch it on tape here, but I said Mandime, her guy at IWC, was really not that good looking. He's not that cool. He's not a great wrestler.
Well. You said not that good looking?
And then she grabbed the chair and she threw it at me. So I had to calm her down and I wanted to tell her what I was really thinking, but she apologized and everything off camera here. So, I thought, we're friends now, but she's very easy to talk to, as you can tell.
Yes. Don't insult Mandime. Do not insult him.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
Because I will throw another chair.
All right. So the entrepreneurship, building the client base, and all of that is part of you. But you said you're so easy to talk to that this is where you need to be, in front of the camera, on podcast.
This is how you build, like not being afraid to talk to people and building that relationship that you have with somebody and feeling comfortable. Like, yeah, you may feel nervous at first, like the first few years that you're doing it. But I mean, I've been doing hair for like 11 years now. So I feel very comfortable talking to random people that I meet for the first time. It's part of my job. So obviously, like I learned very quickly building a business with people in my chair and then running a salon.
It's like you're a therapist, right?
A therapist is what I like to call myself.
That's a good way to put it. Beautiful.
So from there, that's actually how I also started getting into the modeling after that. I had one of my clientele, they were sitting in my chair and they were doing a photo shoot. And they asked me if I wanted to be a part of this big photo shoot that we were having in Erie. And they wanted me to do hair and makeup for it. And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Like, it's a big group thing. And why not get my name out there more, build more clientele, because models need their hair and their makeup done for these shoots. And literally 3 photographers came up to me asking me if I was a model. And I'm like, no, I'm just here doing hair and makeup. I don't know what you're talking about. And at that point in my life, I didn't really have that much self-confidence in myself because I was still struggling with my mental health from issues with like my ex-husband. And I'll tell you what, doing that group photo shoot like was a light switch. It changed my thought process of myself, like, because once I saw the pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this.
Hell, you saw it for the first time.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And then I built a relationship with the photographers because I could talk to them. Like, this was literally the first time that I met these people. And I built that relationship with them. And I've been doing it for about 3 years now. And then the whole wrestling thing, another one of my clients sat in my chair, John McChesney up in Erie. He was like, hey, why not come to one of the independent shows? And I'm like, well, I love wrestling. Like, obviously, when he sat in my chair and he told me he was a wrestler, I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, usually like a 15-minute haircut. We talked for probably a good hour.
Wow.
And he's telling me about all the people he's wrestled in the past and everything. And I'm like, this is really cool. So he invited me to one of the local shows up in Erie. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot of fun. And he's like, well, I'm also going to a show in Pittsburgh, IWC. So the Erie show is called Revenge Pro Wrestling, which also I'm involved with. So if you're ever in Pittsburgh and you want to travel 2 hours north to Erie, come to Revenge Pro Wrestling because they're awesome there too. So he had me come to the IWC here in Pittsburgh. And that's where I met Elijah, my wrestler. And instantly he and I had a connection. And basically we started talking and building this relationship. A lot of these wrestlers, again, first time meeting these people. And I got to meet the owner of IWC, Justin and Jenny Plummer. Absolutely fantastic people. I love them to death. And Elijah and I were like, hey, like, he's like, I want you by my side in the ring as my manager. So I'm like, all right.
Nice.
And ever since that first
just
match,
clicked like that.
It literally, yeah, it just clicked. And I'm like, you know what? I'm a boss. I can do this. And I'll tell you what, like, ever since I've started working in the hair business, it was literally like snowballing, like being able to build these entrepreneurships. And then after the wrestling, like, that's when Nicole messaged me with the whole, like, Rockstar's Dream Girl.
She's a dream girl.
I'm a dream girl.
Lingerie model, monthly delivery, and she's now going to be featured in the magazine. So it's almost like, I see now it's all coming together, the puzzle.
It literally is like a snowball effect. And she saw some of my modeling shots. She liked a lot of my shots. And just getting to talk to her, like, we were able to build a friendship off of that. And then that's also how I met you, was all through social media. It's literally a snowball effect of building your business, starting with one step at a time. It's literally, once you build your one business, it'll just start to grow. And you just have to be confident with yourself. You have, and another thing that I love about it is, when you're an entrepreneur, you've got so many people that will support you. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't need to be in this big business to be well known. Like, it literally, it's the little people. It's that first person that makes all the difference, because then that person will tell another person, and then it's all word of mouth. And that's how you build an empire. It's
that, I think that momentum that you have to build. But now people find that as attractive, and they want to be a part of it, or they see that you're committed.
Oh, yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, when that happens, whether it's people or the universe, I believe opportunities start coming your way because you make the most of opportunities. And then it's not even just seeing the opportunities, but capitalizing on them. Saying yes to this.
Yes.
Eventually led to this.
Yeah.
Saying yes to going to see that one show led to working with Man Dime now, you're on the circuit. I mean, it's almost like the
saying
movies,
yes. Yeah,
Yes Man movie.
It literally is. It's like, and it's another thing. It's like, it's always chances. You always have to not be afraid to take that first step for those chances, because if you don't, how are you supposed to know what's going on? Like, I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't take those chances and take those first steps.
Love it.
And it literally has, like, that first step of me going to hair school, and then from going to hair school to being in a salon to salon manager, and then meeting the model, and then meeting the wrestler. Like, literally, you can't be afraid to take those chances.
Who were you at 23 compared to now? Are you really just a small piece of who you are now?
Oh, such a small piece. I was not as talkative as I am at all.
Really?
Oh gosh. I mean, I would talk, but I was just rediscovering myself, because for 6 years I was forced to be somebody I wasn't. And
ooh, that's a bad feeling.
It was a very bad feeling. That's why I was saying it was not a good relationship. And it's the same thing with relationships. If you can't be true to yourself in your relationship, what's the point? Don't fake it. Like that. If you can't love yourself, then you can't love somebody else. And that was the thing, is before I was 23, I didn't love myself. I was just kind of going with the movement of everything, just going with the flow. And I'm like, you know what? I'm 23. I was 23 years old. I'm like, I'm not happy with my life. I'm miserable. I've still got the rest of my life ahead of me. Like, what can I do to make myself happy? So I took a chance. I took that first step, got out of that bad relationship, and just started to build.
Confidence grows, which you said about loving yourself in the very beginning, even now. But whenever you start to take these steps, don't you find out more about yourself, which gives you more confidence, which gives you the ability to love everything about your abilities, your weaknesses, your strengths. And then what happens then? All of a sudden it shines through.
Mm-hmm. I'm a very firm believer in karma. And another thing that is, like, with loving myself, I give a lot of love. I give a lot of love to people, even people that don't love me back or like me. I mean, there are people that do not like me.
Well, I saw it on Instagram and Facebook. The haters out there. I'm telling you, probably a lot of jealous guys, because obviously Man Dime. But
yeah,
there is a ton of people saying, you look it up, guys, follow her, check it out. There's haters out there.
There are, and they don't like what you see is what you get with me now. Before, I was always trying to just fit in and trying to figure out my place in life. Now what you see is what you get with me. I mean, I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I'm gonna be in a kind way, because I'm not gonna be the person that's gonna be totally rude to you or about something. But I'll be straightforward and honest with you, because I'm gonna be me. And that's something that took me a while to find, but what you see is what you get with me.
Where do you see yourself in a couple years here? I mean, I know you're taking over with IWC and even Revenge. I know you guys are putting some things together, hashing out some schemes.
Yeah.
You and your team.
Well, I can't give out the spoilers of that.
So you're going to see her live at IWC. But what are you? Are you going for world domination? Or are you just looking for IWC domination? What's on the agenda for the next couple months, years? Obviously, the magazine's coming out, guys. And RockstarsDream Magazine is for those who want it all. She's going to be one of the featured contributing writers and featured models in it. So please pick up the magazine. It's coming out here in mid-May. You're really going to like what she has to say in it. But I know when that comes out, you're going to be probably blasting the Rockstar Dream Girl stuff.
Oh, I mean, we're already talking about the July issue, too.
Of course.
And that's one of the big things. It's like, this is another one of those snowball effect things that I want to happen is, like, obviously with everything that's going on in the world right now, I can't really do hair or wrestling or model. I mean, I can do some of the modeling. And the nice thing is, like, the photographers are literally 6 feet away from me, so I don't have to worry about, the whole social distancing. Mm-hmm. But it's just 5 years from now, I want to continue to being a salon manager, very successful in the wrestling career, and I really want to build more with the modeling. And that's why I really I'm happy with the fact that we took this first step of building this relationship with you and me, with Rockstar Magazine, Rockstar Dream Girl, the company with the lingerie. I mean, I see myself really growing with this company, with working with you, even if it's not with the magazine. Like, I can see us working together more in the future.
Absolutely. Yeah. You find like-minded people. When you start putting out a message, we start doing this type of stuff, you just, like energies attract each other.
Yeah.
And, I think no doubt about it, we're going to be working together in some aspect.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, with Nikki, she's the CEO of RockstarsDream Lingerie. She loves everything you're putting out. And then when I read your article, I know that you are a hell of a writer. And that means you have all this imagination, and you got to get it out there. We're creative people.
Yeah. I mean, when you are creative, like you said, when you're a creative person, don't be afraid to take that chance. I mean, think about all the artists in the past. Like, they may not think that their stuff is great, but they took that chance and they put the stuff out there. The music, the paintings, the pictures. I mean, they didn't know whenever they did it. They didn't think they were the best. But yet here they are. Here it is years down the road. And it's, I mean, think about Van Gogh. Vincent Van Gogh. It's a very well-known painter.
Oh, Van Gogh. Yeah.
Van Gogh.
Yeah.
I call him Van Gogh.
Okay, yeah.
Tomato. But
yeah.
if you think about it,
what is it? Stormy Night, or it's the Starry Night.
Starry Night. I mean, there are so many different paintings that he had done that people at that time, in that time frame, whenever he was still alive, painting these. He was this drunken guy that was crazy. But then you look at his work nowadays, and it's some of the most amazing pieces of art. I mean, he could hear colors when he was painting. It wasn't just, I'm going to take this picture and paint it. No, he could hear colors.
Yeah, and so back then it wasn't worth anything. But now...
Yeah.
Now look at it. The value only went up.
You literally have to take that chance and take that first step.
Amazing. Yeah, so if you're out there, follow her on Instagram, get in touch with her if you're looking to become a dream girl, pay attention to the magazine that's coming out, and obviously, if you're in the Pittsburgh area or Erie area, go check her out live, see what she's all about. Dime piece is on the loose, and looks like the cops are here because, this is the one that threw the chair. Yep. You want to...
He started it.
Yeah, so...
He started it.
You got to arrest her? Okay. Looks like they gotta arrest her. So we gotta go here.
Into trouble.
We'll see you next time, guys. Keep living the dream. Yeah, she's right here.
No.
Yeah, take her.